Hello, everybody. This is Amanda with the Activated Earth, and I am here with my sister, Rebecca Smith McGovern. We are on her property in Southern California, and she is in a very energetic, interesting location because her land connects with the fault lines that are up this way. So this is in the northern direction where you've got Big Bear, Mount Baldy, Mount San Jacinto, and there's a fault zone that runs through there and connects with the San Andreas fault line and the San Jacinto fault, which is actually a bigger deal in this area than the San Andreas fault. So when the San Jacinto fault moves, you really feel things moving and shaking. So we're gonna now. Which way are we gonna pan? We're gonna pan around so that you can see the property. So we're going this way. I want to see you to see where things connect up. So stopping right about here, you can kind of see there's some mountains over there. So Rebecca, tell us about that location. The plateau area and your connection with it.
Okay, yeah. So back in beyond these mountains, that towards the south is an area called the Santa Rosa Plateau, and it's actually an area that for years I've been drawn to, and have only in the last few years really kind of understood why and what an incredible healing space the plateau is. The Santa Rosa Plateau, I'm not a biological expert, however, that plateau is home to a singular species of fairy shrimp. It is a point of origination for creation, and the healing energy within that space is one of renewal, cellular renewal, and genetic DNA shift. And I've been drawn to it for years, and it is also a watershed. I mean, it is an area that it carries a vernal pond, as they say, the fairy shrimp. There's a vernal pond there, and there are several. So the whole area up there is very alive with life, and not necessarily life that we're seeing in the forms of four-legged critters, although there are there, but
they're several-legged, right?
They're several-legged, yeah. But that area, yes, I've been drawn to for years, and I've done a lot of healing work for myself there, and actually brought in activations from that space. And I felt quite a tie between this property, myself to this property as well. And it's actually through one of these conversations that Amanda has made some really interesting energetic links.
Right. So here at the Activated Earth,
yeah,
we activate the Earth. So what that means is there are Earth codes in the new Earth grid, and not to say that Earth grid hasn't always been there. The new grid is in the old grid, and it's always been there. It's just the unbalanced expression of it is what we have been utilizing. And what we need to do if we want to change things, make sure you're in this. If we want to change things, we need to bring that new grid up and out. We need to activate ourselves. We need to be connected to that grid, not the old grid. The old grid, the codes for the old grid are greed, hoarding, power over others. The new grid is abundance, joy, love, sharing, generosity, things like that. So those are the new codes of the new Earth. And what I would like to show you that is happening here, so it's not just us that's feeling it. We are going to spin around and we will tell that story, and then we're going to get into the activation. So, okay, do we have it in the shot?
No, I don't know.
Can you see that?
Yeah, you can.
I think so.
I see it back there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what is that over there?
Well, everyone, that is a Buddhist temple. So a few years ago, this property came up for sale, and before I go into that story, I want to comment on something that Amanda said when she talked about those new codes, because a lot of you on here, know me from Awakening Seraphina and know the type of work that I do with healing the physical body, spiritual healing for the physical world. Everything that she said ties in to your physical body as well. So when you connect to these things and you are working within your earth activations, you're serving multi-level. Don't you agree?
Right.
Yeah. So I want to reinforce that.
We are
the
one.
earth. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So going back to
our
this,
grid is the Earth grid is our grid.
Yes. Yes. So I just want to reinforce that. This area over here was up for grabs. It was broken into 3 parcels, and
Take it away.
I'll kind of like lift it up so you can kind of see. At any rate, the potential for that being split and subdivided into 3 separate homes with several septic tanks and the idea of more concrete really, really bothered me, because I live in a somewhat, it's suburb, but it's a somewhat rural area. And this is also a watershed. There's also a lot of water that comes through this area. And I placed an intention. I said, I want someone to move in there who plants a lot of trees. And the energy within this space has drawn in. That property sold. And the first thing that I saw over there were people planting trees. Not just one tree, but there have to be probably, 30 trees
30
over there?
trees.
There's probably 30 trees on that property now. And that signifies the type of energy that's being drawn into, this space, and what becomes attracted to high frequency and health, not only earth health, human health. It's an intrinsic quality to that. And that construction is for a Buddhist temple. I know. Awesome. It's so awesome. It's so awesome. I love it. Yeah.
So what we're gonna do now, and I think we should turn this actually turn that around.
Yeah.
And let's get these you can really see the amazing trees that Rebecca has.
And this area was there was a river that this was a river basin. There's actually a flood channel, a concreted flood channel back there now, of course.
Right.
And in many years ago, there was a railroad tracks, and it was just a point of commerce because there was water. And there was a station down here and railroad tracks and what have you. But this was all sort of a grassland water type area. This used to be considered a 100-year flood zone, and all water from the mountains eventually collects and comes down through here and flows into what is known as Marietta Creek, and then heading on southward to the ocean. But yeah.
Yeah, so anybody who's listened to me long enough knows how water that's been concrete. We'll get into that right now. Here's about that, send me a private message, and I'll tell you why it's a bad idea. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to dive into this ley line or ley lanes that are here that are yearning for desiring that connection from the plateau and this point of origin to the fault zone. So there's an energy that needs to be made to flow toward fault zone. So fault zones actually are energy highways for the earth, and they connect to each other and transmit the energies. And the best way I can describe it is like the new thought patterns. That's That's what I'm feeling to call it, because that starts to move, it's going to carry it. Throughout the earth, and we're going to leave this while we do the activation. We're going to leave it like on the trees. So what we're going to do now, what I'd like everybody to do is, if you haven't gotten comfortable already, please get comfortable. I'm going to take off my shoes so that I can stand in my bare feet. So the first thing we do is make sure that we are connected. So into your heart space, see your heart center, and breathe in through that heart space. Breathe in through the center of your heart. And as you breathe in love. And as you breathe out love. Let's deep in, out. In and out. Breathing out love. Breathing out your love. And then see that light that is in your heart center, that is your essence. Watch it as it encompasses your entire heart, your body, the space that you are in, your town, your region, the planet, out beyond, as far as it will go, as far like allow to go. And now bring your awareness to the top of your crown. You're going to draw down the divine masculine, the Father Sky energy. Bring that down through your crown into your heart. And then it dives down through the rest of your chakras, deep into the earth, wraps around the earth's molten lava core, and comes back up with the divine feminine, where it meets in your heart space and then goes up again to the divine masculine, back down to your heart space, wrapping around the core and back up, creating an infinity that meets in your heart. And this brings balanced divine masculine and feminine into your heart. And it is the universal divine masculine and feminine, and your own internal, your body's internal masculine feminine. This is what brings us connection. From here, we're just going to see she goes. And I'm feeling right now, I know I have my back to the plateau where the pond is. And I feel this spark of the initial genetic code, like a baby. Babies come here perfect. They're perfect. Initial genetic code. It is transmitting through the earth, across the yard. And I almost like, actually like if you were reading the lines, they're very close together here, like maybe a couple of yards apart, moving through this yard. I can feel them traveling over there. I don't see them in other places. This is where they are right now. They are traveling through the, you can see up this way, this around. This is the direction they're going. And what is happening is the original code of perfect. The word's not genetics, it'll come. The original code of how life was meant to be, is meant to be, is, was just not being expressed in this particular now in all places. It's traveling north to our mountains, our Southern California peaks, Mount Baldy, Mount San Jacinto, Mount San Gorgonio, and connecting with that fault line. And I can see it traveling west and north of the San Andreas Fault, and it's going so fast, it's made its way up to the Pacific Northwest, where up there there is a plate called the Juan de Fuca plate that cracks in a perpendicular fashion to the coast, and there are many. And it's completely inundating that area, Oregon and Washington. And now it's even moving up the San Andreas Fault along where the Pacific plate meets the continental plate up to Alaska and across the Bering Strait and into, I guess, what used to be the Soviet Union. I don't know what the most eastern countries are over there, but that's where it's going. I don't know what they're called now. The Ukraine, but it's flowing into that area and then down along their coastline, where I can see it moving now. I can see it moving now across, what I'm being shown is the northern top of India, and then like Nepal, across India, and then into Eastern Europe, and now Greece and Italy, and this is crazy. Where does it go from there? It might be stopping. So it's surrounded the Adriatic Sea there. And that seems to be where it's hooking in. There's a connection, an Italian connection. I've been to Italy, but I'm being drawn to the Amalfi Coast, which is a place I have not been. Southern Italy. And there is a connection there. So what's coming up now is wherever you are, it's time for you to absorb those original codes. And what I'm hearing is health, being healthy, being balanced in your health, resonating with what would bring you healing from some of the weird things that a lot of people are suffering from right now, and all of it stems to autoimmune. Really, I'm feeling autoimmune. There's a lot of autoimmune disease going on because we have, in poisoning ourselves and our minds with our thoughts, we have created the opportunity to make actual physical poison here on this planet. And this is something, as we bring out this new grid, it's really important that we bring out this new grid, and that this is the connection between what I do with the earth and what Rebecca does with the health codes in the body. And as you absorb them, what is happening is your DNA is beginning to spin with this blue crystalline body. Your DNA's body is blue and crystalline. And this is coding you. This is coding you back to that original template provided by the vernal ponds, the original DNA of humanity. So see your DNA spinning, see that blue crystal structure, and know that you can always tap into this. You can tap into this anytime. And we are in that grid, and our energy is flowing. It's in this, and somewhere over there in Italy, there's an explosion of toroidal energy moving up into the Earth's atmosphere and surrounding the Earth, and add this energy, this essence of the vernal pond and everybody who's here participating. And Apollo the horse over there is participating too. And what we have done is we have injected the Earth's toroidal field with this tea. It says that we are. Rebecca, do you want to add anything?
That was a very, very amazing activation. And at the end of this activation, if you take a few minutes to really connect to your body through this, there was a divine sequence, genetic sequence delivered through this activation. Simply bring your awareness to that divine sequence. Simply bring your awareness to that divine sequencing, and it will place. It will place. That was delivered through this activation that Amanda just did. And you may actually feel a slight spin through the chakra area, the lower chakras. And allow that to spin. And bring that up through your chakra system, all the way up the spinal cord. and through the crown. And this was a divine sequencing, and it is, and Amanda's words through this as being, as from birth, when a baby is born. It is an as from birth sequencing, and the energy has a fluttery sensation to it. And simply allow that movement to happen for you up through your body. So you can continue this activation.
Yes, you can. It'll move just as fast as the energy will.
It will move up through your body. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a beautiful activation.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Thank you for I love you too. All right, everybody. That's it for now.
Bye for now.